chosen one. Listen closely. You are not seeing this by accident. The very fact that these words found you means heaven itself pressed pause on everything around you, just so this truth could reach your heart. You have endured much, and you have walked through valleys others would not have survived. Yet here you stand, still breathing, still standing, still chosen. That is the sign you passed the final test. Every tear that fell in silence was counted. Every night you thought you would break was recorded. You thought no one saw the pain, but heaven's eyes were always upon you. And now, after the battle, the whisper comes, you passed. You did not crumble when the fire was turned up. You did not surrender your light when darkness surrounded you. You did not bow when the enemy demanded you kneel. That was the test, and you overcame. You see, the final test was not about what you could gain, but about what you would endure. Could you still love when hated? Could you still walk in faith when abandoned? Could you still shine when unseen? That was the refining fire. Gold does not prove itself by appearance, but by what remains after the flames. And chosen one, you remained. You are proof that God's fire refines, not destroys. Stop for a moment and consider. You should have been broken. The storm should have taken you. The betrayal should have destroyed your trust. The loneliness should have drowned you. But it didn't. Why? Because you are marked. Because you were chosen. Because you were never meant to blend into the crowd. You carry something inside you that could not die, even in the darkest season. That is why you are here now, standing at the threshold of destiny. As David wrote in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And now the heavens declare over you, you passed. This is why you feel a stirring in your chest as you read. This is why your heart beats a little faster right now. Something inside you knows these words are not ordinary. They are confirmation. God is saying, daughter, son, you survived what others could not. And because of that, I now trust you with more. Now, chosen one, I need you to understand, the enemy thought your silence was defeat, but it was preparation. Your hidden season was not wasted. It was training. You were learning endurance, humility, and faith. Those who mocked you, who thought you were forgotten, will soon realize you were simply in the hands of the refiner. You didn't just pass the final test, you graduated into a new authority. What once weighed you down will no longer control you. The lies that once haunted you will no longer have power. The fears that once paralyzed you will now bow beneath your feet. For it was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Do you see it? Power, love, soundness. That is your inheritance. That is your crown. That is the evidence you are not the same as before. Chosen one, I am speaking directly to your soul right now. The test was the doorway, and now you are stepping into the room beyond. The pain was the price, and now you are carrying the treasure. Do not despise the scars. They are proof you survived. Wear them like medals. Each one is a testimony that you could not be broken. And because of this, heaven asks you to do one thing. Do not hide anymore. The world needs to see the light that endured the fire. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your testimony will save others from quitting when they are tested. You passed, so you can now pull others through. So pause and make this moment holy. Lift your head. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. This is not the end. It is the beginning. What was locked is about to open. What was denied is about to be granted. What was hidden is about to shine. I call you now, if you feel this truth burning inside you, do not keep silent. Like, share, and let this message reach every other warrior who thinks they are alone. Subscribe if you have not, so you remain aligned with future words heaven wants to deliver straight into your spirit. And finally, type in the comments a prophetic act, 777. That number will mark your agreement with heaven's declaration that you passed. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And the test was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. Chosen one. The battles that shaped you most were not the ones others could see, but the ones fought behind closed doors. The world saw only fragments of your journey, the surface, the part you allowed them to glimpse. They saw your strength in public, but they never witnessed the nights you lay awake, staring into the dark, praying for a reason to keep breathing. They saw your composure, but they did not hear the inner cries you released when no one was around. They saw your ability to move forward, but they did not feel the invisible weight you carried on your shoulders. These hidden struggles became the furnace where your faith was tested and proved it was there, in the silence, that you were forged into someone stronger than before. Not stronger because life was kind, but stronger because you endured when it would have been easier to collapse. You survived the valley of shadows where others would have turned back. You endured the isolation that tried to convince you that no one cared. And still, you rose. Every sleepless night was not wasted. Every tear you cried in solitude was not ignored. You may have felt forgotten by people, but you were never forgotten by heaven. Every sigh, every whispered, "Help me," every trembling moment you thought went unheard was recorded. Nothing you endured slipped beyond the attention of God. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Let that truth sink into your spirit. Every moment of anguish was not only seen, it was remembered. Every tear became a testimony written in eternity's record. What you thought was emptiness was actually investment. Heaven values what you endured in silence because it became the evidence of your faith. The silent battles were never about punishment. They were about preparation. You weren't being abandoned, you were being refined. Fire does not destroy gold, it reveals its purity. And in the same way, your secret struggles revealed the unshakable core of who you are. The loneliness you felt was not a sign of rejection, but a call into deeper intimacy with God. The betrayals you suffered did not reduce your worth. They elevated your discernment. The storms you faced in silence stripped away the illusion that strength comes from applause, teaching you instead that strength comes from within, sustained by grace. It was in those hidden moments you discovered a power that could not be explained. There were times you thought you were finished, yet somehow a new strength arose in you. That strength did not come from the world. It came from the one who carried you through. When you felt empty, grace filled you. When you felt blind, faith guided you. When you felt voiceless, heaven interceded for you. Chosen one, do you see now why you could not give up? You were being prepared for this very moment. The tears, the pain, the silence, they all became the soil where endurance was planted. And from that soil, resilience grew. You did not just survive, you transformed. You became someone darkness fears because you no longer bend easily. You became someone light trusts because you know the cost of carrying it. Your scars are not signs of failure. They are signs of survival. Each mark tells a story that you made it through something that was meant to break you. And though others may never understand, heaven celebrates every step you took when it felt impossible to move forward. Chosen one. The most powerful victories are often the ones no one else sees. You may never receive recognition for the tears shed in secret, but those tears hold more weight than applause ever could. They are evidence of faith that did not quit. They are the currency of endurance that bought your breakthrough. The silence trained you to hear the whispers of God more clearly. The pain taught you to lean into His presence more deeply. The loneliness reminded you that you are never truly alone. What you endured in private is about to become the foundation of strength you will carry in public. So do not despise those hidden seasons. They were not wasted. They were sacred. They were the final test that revealed your identity. And now, because you endured what few could survive, you carry an authority that cannot be faked. You passed through the silent battles, and in doing so, you proved that your faith is not fragile. You showed that even when no one was watching, your heart remained steadfast. That is why heaven can now trust you with more. That is why you are standing in this moment, marked as chosen, refined by the unseen fire. Chosen one. Do you understand why darkness fought you so hard? It was not random. It was not just because of your circumstances. The truth is, your very presence carries light, and that light unsettles the shadows. Wherever you go, atmospheres shift. Whenever you walk into a room, even in silence, you carry something that cannot be ignored. That is why the opposition has been so relentless. The enemy was terrified that you would discover just how powerful you are when you stand in your true identity. The battles you faced were not only about survival, they were about revelation. The enemy wanted to keep you distracted with pain, so you would never notice the fire burning inside of you. He wanted you to drown in rejection, so you would never realize you were handpicked by heaven. He wanted you to remain silenced by fear, so you would never step into the authority of your voice. But despite everything, you discovered the truth. Your light cannot be extinguished. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Chosen one. That is who you are. A city on a hill. A beacon in the darkness. A light that no veil of shadow can smother. And when you finally began to understand this, you became dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Because when someone knows who they are, no lie can control them anymore. Think back to the times when people misunderstood you, when they turned away, when they mocked you, when they whispered against you. It hurt. Yes. But that rejection was proof that they could sense something different about you. People don't resist what feels ordinary. They resist what feels divine. They did not reject you because you were unworthy. They rejected you because your very existence confronted what was broken inside of them. Chosen one. You must see it now. Your light was never for yourself alone. It was given to you as a weapon. Light breaks confusion. Light exposes lies. Light guides the lost. And this is why you could never blend into the background. This is why, no matter how hard you tried to be normal, something about you always stood out. Heaven never called you to fit in it, called you to stand out. But with this light comes a cost. Carrying light means walking through seasons where you are misunderstood. It means enduring warfare that others may never face. It means carrying responsibility to live with integrity, even when no one is watching. The enemy attacked you not because of where you were, but because of where you are going. He saw the potential in you before you did. And his only hope was to extinguish your flame before it grew too bright. And yet, here you are. The attacks did not succeed. The lies did not silence you. The fear did not paralyze you. The rejection did not define you. Instead, each wound became a window where your light shines even brighter. Every scar became proof that you are unstoppable. Every moment you survived added to the glow you now carry. Chosen one. You are walking evidence that light is stronger than darkness. You do not realize how many people have already been touched by your resilience, even without speaking. Your endurance preach. Your faith has been a silent sermon to those watching you from afar. Some who doubted you are secretly inspired by you. Others who dismissed you are unknowingly learning from you. That is the nature of light. It does not need permission to shine, it simply shines. Now, pause here. This moment requires action. If you feel this truth stirring within you, I want you to affirm it with your own voice. Write these words in the comments, I carry light. By declaring this, you are not only agreeing with heaven, but you are also rejecting every lie that tried to convince you that you were insignificant. When you type it, you are saying, I know who I am. I know what I carry, and I refuse to let darkness tell me otherwise. Do not underestimate this small act. Chosen one. Writing it down is more than words. It is alignment. It is a prophetic declaration that you believe what God has spoken about you. And each time you see those words, they will remind you of your true identity. You are light in the midst of shadows. Chosen one. You are not fragile. You are not powerless. You are radiant with the glory that heaven placed within you. And though the enemy tried to snuff it out, he only proved how bright it is. You are a living example that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So rise, stand tall. Let your light burn unapologetically. The world is waiting for what you carry. Chosen one. What others failed to see about you, heaven has always recognized. There were moments when you felt invisible, when your sacrifices seemed to vanish into thin air, when your kindness was repaid with indifference, and when your labor produced no applause. You wondered if any of it mattered, if perhaps your journey was unnoticed, if perhaps your prayers echoed into emptiness. But the truth is this: God saw every detail. Nothing was missed, nothing ignored, nothing wasted. Recognition from people is fleeting. One day they cheer, and the next day they forget. But recognition from heaven is eternal. When no one applauded your quiet obedience, the angels took note. When no one acknowledged your secret acts of kindness, the Father smiled. When no one thanked you for carrying a burden with patience, your name was written in heaven's record as faithful. Do you realize the power of that truth? The world might never give you a crown, but heaven has already placed one upon your head. People might never acknowledge the weight you carried, but heaven already calls you victorious. While others measured your worth by appearance, heaven measured your worth by endurance. And endurance is something you proved beyond question. Chosen one. There is a reason you could not blend into the masses. You were never designed to walk in anonymity forever. Your distinction has always been your calling card, even when you tried to live like everyone else. Something within you resisted conformity. That resistance was not stubbornness, it was identity. You are not ordinary. You are a marked vessel, chosen for a task others could not carry. The lack of recognition from people was a test, but it was also protection. If the wrong voices celebrated you too early, you might have settled for their shallow approval instead of pressing toward heaven's reward. If the wrong hands placed crowns upon your head, you might have worn them proudly, while missing the greater crown prepared for you. By withholding recognition, God was shaping your heart so that when honor finally comes, it will not control you. Do not despise the days when you felt invisible. Those were the days you were being trained in authenticity. You were learning how to move without applause, how to give without being noticed, how to love without receiving anything back. These lessons formed in you a strength that cannot be corrupted by human praise. When recognition comes, and it will, you will wear it with humility, not pride. The ancient words recorded in the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10, still echo today. God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. And, chosen one, heaven recognizes what men ignore. And when heaven recognizes you, no earthly rejection can define you. Your value is not measured by the number of people who see you, but by the God who calls you his own. The world may overlook the faithful servant, but God raises the faithful into positions of influence at the appointed time. This is why you endured. This is why you passed the test. You were not fighting for attention, you were fighting for destiny. You were not chasing validation, you were chasing obedience. And now, because you remained steadfast, God himself marks you with honor. The recognition of heaven is not loud, but it is unshakable. It will open doors no man can close. It will elevate you without striving. It will silence the mouths of doubters without you needing to defend yourself. It will position you in places you never expected, simply because heaven's hand is upon you. Chosen one. Imagine the Father whispering even now, "Well done. I saw every step. I recorded every tear. I honored every sacrifice." Let those words sink into you. They are not the approval of men that fades. They are eternal recognition from the one whose opinion defines reality itself. Your story is not over. The recognition that seemed delayed is not denied. At the right time, what was hidden will be revealed. The faithful will be lifted. The unseen will be acknowledged. The overlooked will be crowned. And you, chosen one, are among them. So walk with your head lifted high, not in pride, but in certainty, not because you demand recognition, but because you already have it. Not because you need to prove yourself, but because heaven has already proven you. You are recognized, you are seen, you are chosen, and nothing, no silence, no reaction, no delay can erase that truth. Chosen one. One of the clearest signs that you are set apart is that you could never blend into the crowd. Even when you tried to walk like everyone else, talk like everyone else, or think like everyone else, something inside you resisted. That resistance was not rebellion. It was divine distinction. You were never called to be ordinary. You were called to stand out as a living reminder that God places crowns upon the unlikely. You may have asked, why can't I just be like them? Why do I always feel different? The answer is simple. You are different. You were not designed to follow the patterns of this world, because heaven carved a unique path for your steps. When others were satisfied with shallow waters, you were called to dive deeper. When others lived for applause, you were called to live for purpose. When others chased comfort, you were chosen to carry a cross that leads to glory. Do not mistake your isolation for rejection. It was separation. Separation for preparation. While others were indulging, you were being trained. While others compromised, you were being refined. While others mocked what they did not understand, you were quietly receiving assignments from heaven. The loneliness you felt was evidence that you were being called higher. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Then, chosen one, do you hear that? Transformation requires separation. You cannot renew your mind if you are still bound by the voices of the crowd. You cannot discern God's will if you are still entangled in the opinions of people. Your difference is not a curse, it is your crown. Your uniqueness is not weakness, it is the very evidence that you are marked. Think about it. The ones who made history were never the ones who blended in. Prophets, apostles, reformers, and dreamers, they were all misfits in their generation. They were misunderstood, rejected, and even despised. Yet they carried messages that shifted nations. You, too, walk in that lineage. That is why you cannot fit into systems built for conformity. That is why you carry a weight others cannot comprehend. You are not common. You are chosen. And because of this, you must guard your distinction. Do not sell your identity for the comfort of belonging. Do not compromise your calling for the temporary acceptance of those who will never understand your journey. The crowd will always be large, but the crown is only given to those who walk faithfully on the narrow path. Chosen one. Let me tell you something powerful. The very places you were rejected will one day call for you. The very people who dismissed you will one day recognize you. The very doors that shut in your face will one day open, not because you forced them, but because heaven commanded it. Your distinction is what qualifies you for that day. And right now, while you read these words, you know, deep inside, that this is confirmation. Something in you has always whispered, I am not like the rest. I am called for more. That whisper was the voice of the Spirit reminding you who you are. Pause here. Chosen one. If this word is awakening something in you, I ask you to take a small step of alignment. Like and share this message so it reaches every other hidden warrior who needs to be reminded of their crown. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Because these words are not mere encouragement, they are lifelines. Reminders from heaven that keep you aligned with your destiny. And if you feel led, consider sowing into this work. Your support helps carry the message further, touching lives you may never meet. but who are desperate for the same confirmation you just received. Every seed you plant ensures that more chosen ones awaken to their calling. Chosen one. Do not underestimate your role in this. You are not just a receiver of light, you are also a carrier of it. When you share this word, when you sow into it, you are part of the chain reaction that ignites others. What you make happen for others, heaven makes happen for you. You are not here by accident. You were not separated for nothing. You were handpicked to carry a crown that cannot be bought or stolen. And though the journey has been lonely, it is about to be glorious. So lift your head high, walk boldly, carry your difference with pride, not pride in yourself, but pride in the one who chose you. For every moment you felt out of place, remember, you were not misplaced. You were divinely placed. You are chosen. You are crowned. And your distinction is your destiny. Chosen one. There are signs. Heaven leaves for those who are awake enough to notice them. These signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Numbers, patterns, and divine alignments. Each one whispers that your steps are ordered, your path is guided, and your destiny is sealed. The world calls them chance, but you know better. For the chosen, nothing is accidental. You've seen it before. Numbers that repeat in strange ways, moments when time itself seems to echo, situations where the same figure, the same pattern, the same confirmation appears again and again until you cannot ignore it. This is heaven's way of pulling back the veil and saying, you are exactly where you need to be. Chosen one. Do not dismiss these numbers as random. They are prophetic codes. They are reminders that God is not silent, that the heavens still speak to you in ways tailored to your journey. And right now, as you read this, you are being reminded that your victory has already been marked in eternity. The prophet declared in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Emshin, do you see it? Even time itself obeys the voice of heaven. The appointed moment is written. The alignment is fixed. And the sign is already waiting for you. What you thought was delay was simply preparation for the right alignment. And when the numbers appear, they are heaven's subtle declaration. It is near. And this, chosen one, is why you must stop despising the wait. Every moment you thought was wasted was actually weaving together the tapestry of destiny. Heaven was orchestrating people, places, and opportunities in perfect timing. If the promise had come sooner, you would not have been ready to carry it. If it came later, it would have missed its impact. But right now, every thread of your story is interlocking with divine purpose. And the signs are heaven's confirmation that breakthrough is already unfolding. Chosen one. Think of the times you prayed for a sign. How many times did you feel like the answer was silent? And yet, when you least expected it, confirmation appeared. Sometimes in a scripture, sometimes in a conversation, sometimes in numbers you could not ignore. That was heaven's way of saying, I heard you. I have not forgotten you. Stay the course. There are people who mock such signs. They call them superstition, coincidence, imagination. But they do not carry what you carry. They cannot understand the way heaven communicates with those who are marked. The Spirit has always spoken in mysteries, in symbols, in visions, and to those who are chosen. Even the smallest detail becomes a sermon. Chosen one. I tell you now, your alignment is being confirmed again. The numbers you are seeing, the patterns that are reappearing, are not random. They are heaven's signature, stamped upon your journey. They are proof that your obedience has positioned you correctly. Pause and consider this. Heaven has been guiding you, even when you doubted. Every detail of your life, even the painful ones, is part of a larger pattern. You are walking on a path where nothing is wasted. Even the detours were designed to bring you back to the center. Even the delays were crafted to prepare you for more. When fear whispers that you are lost, the sign whispers back, you are guided. When doubt says you are behind, the sign replies, you are on time. When the enemy says you are forgotten, the sign thunders, you are remembered. End quote. Chosen one. The code of heaven is written into your journey. Do not ignore the whispers. Do not dismiss the confirmations. They are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to reassure you. You are moving forward exactly as you should. Let this settle deep within you. You are not stumbling aimlessly. You are walking in ordered steps. Every time the numbers appear, smile. They are love letters from heaven. Subtle reminders that God is nearer than your breath. So carry this with you. The signs are not for everyone, but they are for you. You see them because you are chosen. You feel them because you are sensitive to the Spirit. You recognize them because your eyes have been opened. And now, chosen one, if this word resonates with the fire in your spirit, I ask you to mark your agreement with heaven's alignment. Comment this prophetic number at the end of this message, 444. This is more than digits. It is your declaration that your steps are ordered. Your foundation is secure, and your destiny is unfolding right on time. Chosen one. There are chains that have wrapped around families for generations, cycles that repeat, patterns that seem unbreakable, shadows that pass from parent to child, from bloodline to bloodline. Perhaps you have felt it, those unseen weights pressing on your shoulders, burdens that were not even yours, but somehow ended up in your hands. Poverty that seems to revisit every generation, fear that passes like inheritance, brokenness that shows up again and again, wearing different faces but carrying the same spirit. You have wondered, why me? Why does it feel like I'm fighting battles older than my own life? The answer is because you were chosen to be the one who ends them. What others accepted, you resist. What others excused, you confront. What others bowed to, you rise against. This is not coincidence. This is calling. Chains are never broken without confrontation. And you, chosen one, have been placed in this lineage, not to suffer under the weight of these chains, but to destroy them. The silent battles you have endured were not only about you, they were about every soul connected to your name. Heaven entrusted you with this fight because it knew you would not bend. The chains that terrified generations before you are trembling now because they see the fire in your spirit. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 6. But showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. That promise is yours. The blessing you carry will not end with you. It will overflow into the generations that follow. You are the link where curses end and blessings begin. Chosen one. Think of the weight of this moment. Your prayers are not only shaping your life, they are rewriting the story of your family line. Your faith is not just about your survival, it is opening a path of freedom for those who come after you. Every time you resist temptation, you weaken a chain. Every time you choose forgiveness, you break a link. Every time you stand in obedience, you shatter a curse. The battles you face are ancient, but the power within you is eternal. The enemy assumed you would fold under the same pressure that crushed those before you, but heaven has marked you differently. The blood of Christ runs through your story, and it carries authority greater than any generational shadow. You are not bound to repeat what you have seen. You are not destined to suffer the same cycles. You are chosen to break them. Chosen one. Imagine the shift. Where there was once scarcity, abundance will flow. Where there was once fear, boldness will rise. Where there was once addiction, freedom will reign. Where there was once brokenness, healing will flow like a river. And it begins with you. This is why the attacks have been so intense. The chains you are breaking are not small, they are ancient. The enemy knows that if you succeed, not only will you walk free, but generations tied to your name will never know the weight of bondage again. That is why your fight feels heavier than most. That is why your journey has been filled with resistance. But remember this, heavy chains require strong warriors, and heaven chose you because you have the strength to endure. Chosen one. Your prayers are not hitting the ceiling, they are striking the foundations of these chains. Every word you speak in faith shakes the structures of darkness. Every cry you release in surrender weakens the grip of the enemy. You are not fighting alone, the hosts of heaven fight with you. Do not despise the weariness you sometimes feel. It is a sign of the battle's intensity, but it is also proof of your endurance. Even in weakness, you have not bowed. Even in exhaustion, you have not surrendered. That persistence is breaking what once seemed unbreakable. There will come a day when you look back and realize that the very battles which nearly destroyed you were the ones that freed your family line. You will see sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, children not yet born, walking in freedom you fought for. They will not carry the chains you carried, because you shattered them. They will not suffer the same curses, because you ended them. Chosen one. The legacy of bondage ends with you. The legacy of blessing begins with you, and heaven will honor your obedience by multiplying its fruit across generations. Do not underestimate the significance of your endurance. You may feel small in the fight, but the ripple of your victory is immeasurable. 1,000 generations will feel the freedom you secured, and one day, heaven itself will declare over you, "This one was faithful. This one broke the chains. This one shifted the story." You are the breaker. You are the chosen one. And the chains are falling because you refused to be bound. Chosen one. Survival was never the end goal. Heaven did not preserve you merely to exist, but to rise into a new realm of authority. You are crossing a threshold. The same strength that allowed you to endure the fire is now becoming the authority that equips you to command it. You are no longer a wanderer trying to find your place. You are a carrier of divine power, entrusted with influence that shifts the very ground you walk upon. Authority is different from survival. Survival is about holding on. Authority is about taking ground. Survival whispers, "I made it through." Authority declares, "I am here to reign." Chosen one. You are entering the season where you will no longer merely react to battles, You will set the atmosphere before they even begin. It was proclaimed in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Then, this is not symbolic, it is real. You are walking in authority that breaks the influence of fear, silences the whispers of doubt, and dismantles the traps of the enemy. You will not just survive attacks, you will carry the power to dissolve them. This authority does not come from titles, positions, or outward recognition. It comes from the scars you carry, the battles you fought, and the obedience you chose when no one was watching. Chosen one. Authority is birthed in private pain, but manifested in public power. Your hidden tears became oil for your anointing. Your secret prayers became the foundation of your voice. The moments you thought were wasted were actually heaven's training ground, shaping you into someone who does not simply carry faith, but walks in dominion. You will notice this shift in subtle ways. Where once you were easily shaken, now you will remain steady. Where once fear silenced you, now your words will pierce like a sword. Where once you begged for breakthrough, now you will release breakthrough over others. This is the evidence of authority. It does not only preserve you, it transforms the environment around you. Chosen one. Have you noticed how people feel different around you? Some feel peace, others feel convicted, and still others resist you without reason. That is the weight of authority. The presence you carry disrupts atmospheres. It brings comfort to the hungry and disturbance to the resistant. Do not shrink back when you feel misunderstood. It is confirmation that your spirit carries weight beyond human explanation. This authority is not arrogance. It is not domination. It is stewardship. You are entrusted with a mantle that requires humility. Authority without humility becomes abuse. But authority grounded in obedience becomes liberation. And because you endured the breaking, heaven knows it can trust you not to misuse what has been placed in your hands. Chosen one. Think of how the storm once frightened you. Waves seemed too high, winds too strong, darkness too thick, yet you walked through it. And now, because you endured, you can stand in storms and speak peace over others who are drowning. That is authority, not the absence of storms, but the power to silence them. You will walk into spaces where confusion reigns, and clarity will flow through you. You will enter households bound by fear, and peace will rest upon them. You will encounter hearts trapped in despair, and your presence will ignite hope, not because of who you are alone, but because of what you carry. Chosen one. You are stepping into this season with a new mantle. Do not think small of yourself. Do not assume you are merely a survivor. You are a vessel of dominion. Your scars are your credentials. Your faith is your signature. And heaven has stamped you with authority that cannot be revoked. From this moment on, walk differently. Pray with boldness. Speak with conviction. Move with confidence. You are not asking for permission anymore. You are carrying authorization from heaven itself. Where you go, light goes. Where you stand, ground shifts. Where you speak, chain loosen. The world will not always understand it. Some will resist. Others will doubt. But none will be able to deny the authority you carry. Because authority is not proven in arguments, it is revealed in results. And the fruit of your obedience will silence every doubter. Chosen one. Step into it fully. Authority is your inheritance. Dominion is your calling. And the season of merely surviving has ended. You are walking as one entrusted with the keys of the kingdom. And nothing, no scheme, no shadow, no storm will prevail against you. Chosen one. Your calling is not optional, it is sealed. You carry something the world cannot ignore, and heaven has written an assignment over your life that cannot be erased. This is why you feel a pull that others do not understand. You were not made to drift without purpose. You were designed to walk as one crowned with a divine mandate. Your life is not random. Your destiny is not negotiable. You are sent, and you are chosen. The crown placed upon you is not made of earthly jewels. It is forged in obedience, humility, and fire. Every battle you endured was shaping the weight of this assignment. Every silent tear was watering the soil of your future. Every act of faith was building a throne of authority that you now carry. You are not just living day by day, you are carrying a decree from heaven itself. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7, declare, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Chosen one. These words are not merely about the end of life. They are about living with intention, knowing that every step is part of the race you were chosen to run. And just as Paul wrote those words with certainty, you too must walk with the conviction that your crown is waiting. Your assignment is real, and your fight is worth every sacrifice. There will always be voices trying to distract you from this path. Some will mock your faith. Others will tempt you to compromise. Many will say, take the easy road, why carry such weight? But chosen one, you cannot afford to listen. The easy road leads to emptiness. The narrow road leads to glory. You did not survive this long to surrender to convenience. You endured to fulfill a calling that is higher than your own comfort. You may feel the weight of responsibility pressing heavily upon your shoulders. At times, it may even feel overwhelming. But remember this, heaven does not assign crowns to the unprepared. The very fact that you are reading these words is proof that you are ready. You passed the tests others failed. You endured what others abandoned. You remained when others fled. And because of that, you now carry authority to move forward with unshakable purpose. Chosen one. The crown does not only rest upon your head, it also marks your steps. Everywhere you go, the authority of your calling follows. You may not even realize how deeply others are affected by your presence. Strangers feel peace when you enter a room. The weary feel strength when you speak. The broken feel hope when you simply stand beside them. This is the weight of your crown. It is not for decoration, it is for transformation. Your assignment is not optional. It is not something you can cast aside when life gets inconvenient. It is a holy decree written before you were born. Heaven invested too much in you for you to give up now. And deep inside, you already know this. That is why you cannot rest in mediocrity. That is why compromise never satisfies you. That is why you always feel a holy tension, pulling you higher. Chosen one. Take this moment to anchor your heart. Declare to yourself that you are not a wanderer, you are a warrior. You are not lost, you are commissioned. You are not random, you are crowned. And the world will see the evidence of your assignment through the fruit of your endurance. Now pause. This is not just another line in your journey, it is a prophetic checkpoint. If this message resonates in your spirit, I invite you to affirm it boldly. Comment these words as a declaration: I choose purpose. And when you write it, you are doing more than typing. You are aligning. You are rejecting the lie that your life is accidental. You are silencing the whispers that tell you to quit. You are saying to heaven and to yourself, I accept my crown. I embrace my calling. I will walk in purpose. All chosen one. Do not underestimate the power of this declaration. Your agreement with heaven unlocks doors in the spirit. The moment you choose purpose, distractions lose their grip. Fear loses its voice, and destiny becomes clearer than ever before. You are crowned not for comfort, but for conquest. You are marked not to hide, but to shine. You are chosen not to blend, but to build. The assignment on your life is real, and it is waiting for your full surrender. So rise with certainty, walk with conviction, live with intention, and let the world see through your life that heaven does not choose lightly. You are proof that the crown is real, the calling is sure, and the assignment cannot be stopped. Chosen one, there is a divine shift happening even now, the end of delays. What once felt like endless waiting is giving way to sudden movement. The prayers you thought were unanswered are rising like incense before the throne. And heaven is responding with release. For years, it seemed as though doors were locked, opportunities were withheld, and breakthroughs were just out of reach. But now, the appointed time has come. The waiting season is closing, and the season of fulfillment is opening before your very eyes. Delays were never denial. They were preparation. You were not forgotten. You were being refined. Had the answer come too soon, you would not have been ready to carry it. Had the door opened prematurely, it would have crushed you instead of blessing you. Heaven withheld not out of cruelty, but out of protection. And now that you are proven faithful, nothing can hold back what belongs to you. Chosen one. Think of it like a seed buried in the soil. For a long time, there is no sign of life above the surface. And to the natural eye, it looks as though nothing is happening. But underground, roots are forming, strength is developing, and the foundation is being secured. That was your season of waiting. It wasn't emptiness, it was establishment. And now, because you endured the unseen process, the time of visible fruit has come, and nothing can prevent its growth. The prophet declared in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Chosen one. That verse is echoing through your spirit right now. It is not just about the distant future, it is about this very moment. The right time has arrived, and what was once slow is about to accelerate beyond your imagination. Do you feel the shift? The heaviness you carried is lifting. The silence that once pressed in on you is breaking into songs of confirmation. What you planted in tears is about to bloom in joy. The delay has ended, and the release has begun. Chosen one. Reflect on the waiting. Every unanswered prayer taught you perseverance. Every closed door built your discernment. Every delay strengthened your character. Though it felt painful at the time, you are now standing with the strength and wisdom to carry the blessing without being destroyed by it. The very season you resented has become the foundation that will keep you steady in the overflow that is coming. And hear this clearly: when God releases, He releases in abundance. He does not open one door, He opens many. He does not answer one prayer, He multiplies the fulfillment. This is why you must be prepared to walk boldly. No hesitation, no second guessing. When the opportunity comes, step into it with confidence, knowing you were prepared for such a time as this. Chosen one. Pause for a moment. If this word stirs something within you, do not keep it to yourself. Like and share this message so that others who are weary in their waiting will find the strength to hold on a little longer. Subscribe if you have not already, because the journey ahead is unfolding quickly, and you do not want to miss the confirmations heaven will continue to release in this season of acceleration. And if your spirit feels led, consider sowing into this work. Your support does not merely sustain a message, it fuels a mission. Every seed you plant helps spread these words to more lives that are on the verge of giving up. Just as you are being strengthened, someone else will find hope because of your generosity. Think of it as aligning with heaven's release, not only for yourself, but for countless others. Chosen one. Do not forget that waiting was never wasted. The season of stillness was the season of shaping. Now, what was once hidden will be revealed. What was once locked will be unlocked. What was once delayed will arrive in sudden, unbearable glory. Your endurance was the proof that you were ready. Your perseverance was the evidence that you could be trusted. And now, heaven's decree is clear. The delay is broken. What belongs to you will no longer be withheld. Imagine it. Chosen one, promises fulfilled. Doors opening, blessings flowing like rivers. You are stepping into the season of answered prayers, not because of luck, but because heaven has appointed this very hour. So, walk boldly into it. Lift your head high. Receive the release with gratitude and courage. And remember, this is only the beginning of a greater unfolding. For every delay you endured, heaven is now releasing double honor, double blessing, double increase. The time of waiting is over. The season of fulfillment has begun. Step into it with faith. For the Lord himself has declared, now. Chosen one. One of the most powerful testimonies of your journey is not just that you survived, but that you survived in the face of those who were waiting for you to fail. There were eyes on you, watching, doubting, whispering, even celebrating your struggles. Some wanted to see you stumble because your resilience confronted their complacency. Others questioned whether you truly carried the mark of heaven. They mistook your trials as proof of weakness, not realizing they were the very fire forging your strength. This has always been the pattern for the chosen. Those who walk under a divine mandate rarely receive immediate recognition from people. Instead, they endure seasons where others misinterpret their silence, their struggles, or their waiting. But, chosen one, what man misunderstands, heaven makes undeniable. The time is coming, and indeed has already begun, when the very people who doubted you will see evidence of God's hand so clear they cannot deny it. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Ah, chosen one, do you see it? The table is not prepared in private. It is spread in the presence of those who once mocked, doubted, or dismissed you. This is not about vengeance. It is about testimony. Your life itself becomes a sermon, declaring that God raises the lowly, crowns the faithful, and honors those who endure. Think of Joseph. sold by his own brothers, imprisoned unjustly, forgotten by men, but never forgotten by God. When the time was right, the very ones who betrayed him bowed before him, not because he demanded it, but because God's favor made it inevitable. In the same way, those who dismissed you will witness your elevation, not for your glory, but for heaven's chosen one. Do not carry bitterness toward them. Do not waste energy trying to prove them wrong. Your assignment is not to convince, it is to continue. The proof will not come from your arguments, but from the fruit your life begins to bear. While they mocked, you prayed. While they doubted, you endured. While they overlooked, you were being refined. And now the evidence is emerging. There is a certain silence in victory that speaks louder than words. When you walk through new doors, when you carry fresh authority, when peace radiates from you, despite every attack, the silence itself will testify, this one is chosen. The mouths that once spoke against you will grow quiet, not because you silenced them, but because your life silenced doubt. Chosen one. Understand this, their doubt was part of your preparation. It stripped away your dependence on human validation. It taught you to root your confidence in God alone. It purified your motives, ensuring that when recognition comes, you will not idolize the applause of people. Instead, you will keep your eyes fixed on the one who called you from the beginning. Your enemies were never the true obstacle. Their resistance only revealed the depth of your calling. Their disbelief only magnified the necessity of your testimony. Their rejection pushed you closer to the arms of God, who never once turned away. And now, the very opposition that tried to bury you becomes the stage on which your victory shines brightest. Do not despise their presence in your story. Without Pharaoh, Joseph would have had no throne. Without Goliath, David would have had no crown. Without the doubters, you would not have the weight of testimony you carry now. Heaven wastes nothing, not even the words of your enemies. Chosen one, let your heart rest in this assurance. God himself will vindicate you. You need not defend yourself, nor retaliate, nor strive for recognition. The oil upon your head, the crown upon your spirit, the fire within your bones, these are the undeniable marks of heaven's approval. And approval from God outweighs the opinions of men 1,000-fold. The season is shifting. Evidence is emerging. Those who once whispered, "Where is their God?" will soon say, "Surely, the hand of the Lord is upon them." You will not need to explain. The fruit will speak. The overflow will testify. The peace you carry will silence every doubt. So walk forward without bitterness. Do not even look back with resentment. Keep your eyes fixed on the table being prepared before you. Feast in peace, knowing that heaven has crowned you, anointed you, and placed you where no voice of doubt can remove you. And when they see it, when the undeniable favor of God shines from your life, do not gloat. Chosen one, do not boast. Simply remember, this was always God's plan, not to humiliate others, but to glorify his name through you. Chosen one, the proof is coming. The evidence is rising. The silence of heaven has ended, and your life itself will be the answer. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven marks you with a seal so clear that no power of darkness can contest it. That seal is not something the natural eye always sees, but it is undeniable in the spiritual realm. It is the mark of authenticity, the divine approval that distinguishes you from the imitators, the pretenders, and the temporary. Many may copy the appearance of favor, but only the truly chosen carry the weight of heaven's seal. And you, chosen one, are stamped with it. This seal is not about outward status. It is not about wealth, titles, or applause. It is about the invisible signature of God resting on your spirit. When you walk into a place, the atmosphere shifts. When you speak, your words carry weight beyond your own. When you pray, the heavens lean close. The seal upon you is what makes the darkness tremble and the angels rejoice. The apostle reminds us in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 22, he set his seal of ownership on us and put his spirit in our hearts as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come. Chosen one, do you see what this means? You are not wandering without identity, you are claimed. You are not striving for approval, you are already owned by heaven. That seal is not temporary, it is eternal. It guarantees that the promises spoken over your life are not fragile dreams, they are secured realities. You may not always feel it, but others notice it. Some are drawn to you without knowing why. Others resist you fiercely, even when you've done them no wrong. That is the seal at work. Light either attracts or exposes, and your seal carries both. It comforts those who hunger for truth, but it convicts those who resist it. Never mistake rejection as failure. It is often proof that the seal is visible. Chosen one. The seal also carries responsibility. It means you cannot live like everyone else. While others compromise, you must remain steadfast. While others chase popularity, you must chase obedience. While others settle for temporary comfort, you must carry the eternal perspective. The seal does not only distinguish you, it protects you. And because of that protection, God will sometimes block you from places you wanted to go, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Think of it like this: a royal document without a seal can be forged, questioned, or ignored. But once stamped with the king's seal, it becomes undeniable, unchallengeable, unalterable. That is who you are now, a living decree. Stamped with the approval of heaven, your life itself declares, this one belongs to God. Then, chosen one, there will always be counterfeits. There will always be those who try to mimic the presence you carry, those who put on the garments of spirituality without the oil of authenticity. Do not be distracted by them. The seal you carry cannot be manufactured. It cannot be purchased. It can only be received through surrender, obedience, and endurance. This is why your path has been harder. This is why your trials felt heavier. Heaven was not punishing you, it was authenticating you. The oil upon your life is expensive because it was pressed from seasons of crushing. The authority you carry was not given cheaply, it was forged in fire. That is what makes your seal unshakable. Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit as you read this? That is the seal reminding you who you are. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not random. You are sealed. You are claimed. You are marked for destiny. And now, I invite you into an act of agreement. Mark this moment by writing in the comments the prophetic number 555. When you do, you are declaring, I recognize the seal. I receive it fully. I walk in alignment with it. The number 555 is a sign of grace multiplied. The triple confirmation that heaven's hand rests upon you and that transition is unfolding in your life. It is not just digits, it is your declaration that you accept the authenticity of your calling. Do not underestimate this action. When you type it, you are not just pressing keys, you are pressing into agreement. You are aligning with what heaven has already stamped on your spirit. You are saying, I belong to God, and nothing can remove His seal from me. Of chosen one. Carry this truth boldly. No rejection can erase your seal. No failure can cancel it. No attack can remove it. You are stamped, secured, and set apart. Walk with confidence, for the King's mark is upon you, and His promises over your life are guaranteed. Chosen one. There is a sound rising within you that cannot be silenced any longer. For too long, you carried your words like embers hidden in your chest, burning quietly while you stayed silent in the presence of others. But now, the time of silence is ending. Your voice is not just your own, it is a trumpet, designed to carry the weight of heaven's message into the earth. What once whispered within you is now roaring, demanding to be released. You may not realize how much power rests in your voice. It is more than communication, it is creation. With words, atmospheres shift. With declarations, chains break. With truth, lies collapse. That is why the enemy has fought so hard to silence you. Every attack you endured, fear, doubt, rejection, intimidation was designed to keep your voice muted. Because when your voice rises, it disrupts darkness. The prophet declared in the book of Jeremiah, Chapter 1, verse 9, Then the Lord reached out His hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. End quote. Chosen one. Understand what this means. The weight you carry when you speak does not come from eloquence, education, or charisma. It comes from divine impartation. Heaven placed its words inside you. Your voice is an instrument, and your obedience determines how clearly the sound is heard. When you release what has been placed within you, it is not just information, it is transformation. Perhaps you have been hesitant. You've wondered, who will listen to me? What if my words fall flat? What if I am misunderstood? But remember, Jeremiah once said he was too young. Moses claimed he could not speak well. Isaiah trembled at his own unclean lips. Yet in each case, God responded, not by changing their circumstances, but by assuring them, I am the one who speaks through you. Chosen one. It is the same with you. Your hesitation is irrelevant compared to heaven's mandate. Your weakness is overshadowed by God's power. The trumpet does not question who blows into it. It simply carries the sound. You are that trumpet, and heaven has already chosen the sound you will release. This voice within you carries multiple dimensions. Sometimes it will comfort, speaking peace to the brokenhearted. Sometimes it will confront, shattering lies that have held people captive. Sometimes it will call forth destiny, awakening those who have forgotten who they are. Each sound is different, but all carry the same origin, the Spirit of God within you. Chosen one. Consider this. Your silence has already been speaking. Even when you said nothing, your endurance, your faith, and your resilience were preaching louder than words. How much more? Then, when you finally allow your voice to rise, the world is waiting for it. Lives you do not even know, are waiting for the words that will come out of your mouth. Do not think too small of this calling. Heaven does not waste breath. If God has placed words inside you, it is because they are needed. There are hearts that will not awaken until they hear your testimony. There are chains that will not break until they hear your declaration. There are lives that will not change until they hear your voice. Chosen one. Let this be clear. Your silence is no longer an option. The time for hiding is over. The time for doubting is past. You are stepping into a season where your words will carry prophetic weight. And when you speak, do not be surprised when people weep, when atmospheres shift, when resistance collapses. That is the nature of a trumpet it pierces. It cannot be ignored. This does not mean you will always feel bold. Even in trembling, your words will carry fire. Even in uncertainty, they will carry authority. Because authority does not come from your confidence, it comes from the one who placed his spirit inside you. Chosen one. Prepare yourself. Opportunities will come where you will be asked to speak, to share, to release what is inside of you. Do not shrink back, even if your voice shakes. Let it rise. Even if your words stumble, let them flow. Because the power is not in perfection, it is in obedience. And as your voice rises, expect resistance. Not everyone will celebrate. Some will dismiss. Some will criticize. Some will oppose. But do not let that silence you. Trumpets were never designed to please ears. They were designed to sound alarms. And alarms are meant to wake the sleeping, even if they resist being awakened. Chosen one. Your voice is a gift. Your words are an assignment. Your testimony is a weapon. Use them. Release them. Trust them. Heaven is waiting to echo through you. And the earth is waiting to hear. You are the trumpet, and the sound within you is about to be heard. Chosen one. You have walked through valleys and endured storms. But what you may not fully realize is that your obedience has sent tremors through the realm of darkness. Every step you took in faith, every prayer whispered in the night, every act of surrender, these were not small. They were declarations of war against the powers that sought to destroy you. You may not have seen the battles in the unseen realm, but make no mistake, your obedience has sounded an alarm that cannot be silenced. The enemy is not afraid of religion, of empty words, or of surface-level faith. What terrifies the darkness is obedience, because obedience is the bridge between belief and power. It is one thing to say you believe in God. It is another to obey His voice, even when it costs you. That obedience becomes a sword. That obedience becomes fire. That obedience is what causes hell to tremble. Chosen one. Consider this. When Noah obeyed and built the ark, he looked foolish to the world, but his obedience preserved life. When Abraham obeyed and left everything familiar, he became the father of nations. When Esther obeyed and risked her life, she delivered her people. Obedience does not always look glamorous. It often looks costly, lonely, and misunderstood. But it always carries power. It was spoken in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Do you feel the weight of that? Obedience outweighs ritual. Obedience breaks the cycle of rebellion. Obedience activates promises that remain locked when we resist. And you, chosen one, have chosen obedience when it was hardest. That is why you are still standing. That is why the darkness could not destroy you. The enemy would rather you be distracted, busy, even religious, as long as you are not obedient. But every time you said yes to God when it hurt, every time you surrendered when you wanted to cling, every time you trusted when you could not see, you issued a direct blow to the enemy's schemes. That is why your life has felt like a battlefield, because your obedience is dangerous. Chosen one. Understand this clearly. Your obedience is not only about you, it is intercession for those connected to you. When you obey, chains break, not only off your life, but off the lives of others. Your yes to God becomes a doorway of deliverance for people you may never even meet. This is why the resistance has been so intense. Hell knows that your obedience carries generational impact. Think of the times you felt pressed on every side. The pressure was not random. It was a last-ditch attempt to force you into disobedience. But you endured. You may have stumbled, but you did not quit. You may have cried, but you did not surrender. And now, your obedience stands as testimony that God can trust you with more. Chosen one. Obedience is not about perfection. It is about direction. You may not have always done everything right, but your heart kept turning back toward God. That is what He honors, the posture of surrender. He does not demand flawlessness. He desires faithfulness. And faithfulness is what you have carried. Even when no one applauded, even when no one saw, your obedience has become a warning to the enemy. His hold on you is broken. His chains cannot restrain you. His lies cannot deceive you. Every yes you gave to God weakened the grip of darkness. And now, as you continue to walk in obedience, you will see doors swing open, not because you forced them, but because your obedience unlocked them. Chosen one. This is why you cannot afford to stop now. The temptation will always remain to compromise, to settle, to look for shortcuts. But shortcuts are traps. True authority flows only from sustained obedience. Each day you choose to walk in alignment. You grow stronger, more radiant, more untouchable. Do not underestimate what your obedience has already accomplished. There are attacks you will never know about because your yes blocked them before they reached you. There are curses you will never experience because your surrender dismantled them in advance. There are blessings you will walk into that were unlocked by decisions you made in secret. Heaven records every act of obedience, and none of it is wasted. Chosen one. You have become a living declaration of what obedience looks like. Others will look at your life and find courage to obey as well. Your testimony will ignite faith, because people will see the evidence of obedience written across your story. That is the true power of obedience. It multiplies. It inspires others to say yes where they once said no. So stand firm. Do not shrink back. Keep walking in the light of obedience, no matter the cost. Because every yes to God echoes as a warning to darkness. This one is unshakable. This one is sealed. This one is chosen. Chosen one. You were not lifted from the ashes just to hide in silence. Heaven has raised you for a platform, not a stage of vanity, but a platform of glory. What you carry is not for yourself alone. The fire you endured, the battles you won, the chains you broke, these have forged a message that the world desperately needs. You are a living testimony that light is stronger than darkness, that obedience triumphs over rebellion, that destiny cannot be stolen when it is sealed by God. For too long, You thought your story was too broken to share. You questioned whether your scars disqualified you. But chosen one, it is your scars that qualify you. It is your wounds that have become wells of wisdom. It is your journey through valleys that gives you authority on the mountaintop. Others may carry words, but you carry weight because you lived it. That weight is what makes your platform unshakable. The Apostle Paul reminds us in the book of Corinthians, chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles. Chosen one, do you see the pattern? You were comforted not only for yourself, but so you could comfort others. You were strengthened not just to survive, but to strengthen those still in the fire. Your testimony is not only yours, it is heaven's gift to others through you. That is why your platform cannot remain hidden. There will be moments when your story shakes the weary back to life. There will be days when your words become the ropes someone holds onto instead of letting go. There will be times when your presence alone reassures those who thought they were abandoned. That is the power of your platform. It is not built on pride, it is built on service. But chosen one, with this calling comes responsibility. You must guard your platform with humility. The world celebrates fame, but heaven celebrates faithfulness. You are not called to impress, you are called to impact. You are not raised to collect applause, you are raised to release hope. And if you walk in this posture, your platform will never fall. This is why you cannot remain silent. Every time you share your light, you multiply it. Every time you withhold it, someone remains in darkness. You were not given this crown to keep it hidden. You were crowned so that your light would shine before men, that they may glorify the Father through you. Chosen one. Pause here with me. If this word stirs something deep in your spirit, do not keep it locked within. Like this message, and share it so others can awaken to their own calling. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this flow of revelation is not just a moment, it is a movement. And if your heart feels led, consider sowing into this work. Your generosity helps ensure that these words travel to every corner, reaching the ones who are barely holding on. When you give, you are not just supporting a message, you are sustaining a mission, one that rescues lives with truth. And let me say this clearly. When you engage, when you give, when you spread this message, you are not merely helping others, you are also planting seeds into your own destiny. For every life touched because of your obedience, heaven marks your account with increase. What you make happen for others, God makes happen for you. Chosen one. This is why your platform is holy ground. It is not just about speaking, it is about living. Every choice you make, every step you take, every act of obedience is part of the message. Your life itself is the sermon, and heaven has placed you on display, not for pride, but for proof that God's chosen cannot be silenced. So rise boldly into this moment. Do not wait until you feel ready, because readiness comes in the doing. Do not wait for permission from people when you already have authorization from heaven. This is the hour to speak, to write, to sing, to build, to create, to release. Whatever God has placed within you, let it flow. The world is waiting, and silence is no longer an option. Chosen one. Your platform will not crumble because it was not built on sand. It was forged in fire. It was secured in storms. It was tested in silence. And now, it is time to let the world hear the sound of your testimony. So walk with courage, share without fear, shine without apology. You are the living proof that God raises up the broken, crowns the faithful, and places their voices on platforms that echo far beyond their lifetime. Chosen one. The strength that carried you this far is not the same strength you will carry into what is next. What sustained you in the season of testing is now being multiplied into endurance for the journey ahead. You did not come this far to collapse at the threshold of destiny. The mantle placed upon you is not light, but heaven has already provided the stamina you need to carry it. Endurance is not simply surviving hardship. It is the divine capacity to remain steadfast when others fall away. It is the ability to keep walking when the road stretches long, to keep believing when evidence seems scarce, to keep fighting when the battle feels endless. Endurance is what separates the called from the chosen. Many begin with fire, but few remain faithful when the fire turns into refining flames. Yet here you are, still standing. The ancient words recorded in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, declare, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial. Having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life the Lord has promised to those who love him." Think of all the seasons where you felt at your end, yet something unseen lifted you. That was endurance rising within you. Every time you refused to quit, endurance was being forged. Every time you chose faith over fear, perseverance was being multiplied. What was once fragile in you has become unshakable. And now, this endurance is no longer just for survival, it is for leadership. This mantle will change how you move. Where you once felt uncertain, you will walk with clarity. Where you once hesitated, you will step forward boldly. Where you once wondered if you could make it, you will now encourage others that they can. Your voice will not tremble with doubt. It will carry the authority of one who has endured. But understand this, endurance does not remove battles, it equips you for them. New seasons will still carry challenges, but you will not meet them as you once did. You are no longer fragile. You are no longer wavering. You are no longer questioning whether you belong. You carry the mantle of those who finish, not just those who begin. Chosen one. Endurance also brings wisdom. It teaches you when to run and when to rest, when to fight and when to be still, when to speak and when to remain silent. It refines your discernment so that you no longer waste energy on distractions. The enemy may still send storms, but you will not be tossed around as before. You have learned to anchor your soul in the unshakable. This endurance is also generational. Just as your obedience broke chains, your perseverance now builds legacies. Children yet unborn will walk in the stability you fought for. Families connected to you will live in the overflow of strength you carried. Your mantle of endurance is not just personal, it is inheritance. Chosen one. Do not despise the weight you sometimes feel. Mantles are heavy because they are costly. But the very fact that heaven entrusted it to you means you are capable of carrying it. And you are not carrying it alone. The Spirit within you is the one upholding you. When your natural strength wanes, supernatural endurance rises. Think of the eagle soaring in the sky. It does not escape storms by avoiding them. It uses the winds of the storm to rise higher. That is what endurance does. It takes the very resistance sent to destroy you and uses it as fuel to elevate you. Every obstacle you faced became the wind beneath your wings. Chosen one. This mantle marks a transition. You are no longer a survivor, you are a forerunner. You are no longer proving yourself, you are establishing paths for others. You are no longer asking, "Can I make it?" You are declaring, "I will finish well." The journey ahead may still stretch long, but you will not faint. The battles ahead may still roar, but you will not fear, for the mantle of endurance is yours. And with it comes the promise, you will outlast every storm. You will rise above every shadow, and you will finish the race marked out for you with honor. Chosen one. The journey has brought you here to the coronation moment. Everything you have endured, every battle, every sleepless night, every tear, every prayer whispered in secret, it was leading to this. You have passed the tests, shattered the chains, embraced the authority, and carried the mantle of endurance. Now heaven opens its gates and declares, "The crown is yours." This is not the crown of men, fragile and fading. This is the crown of glory, eternal and unshakable, placed upon your head by the hand of God Himself. You may have felt unworthy, but the crown is not given because of worthiness. It is given because of chosenness. You were not perfect, but you were faithful. You did not walk flawlessly, but you did not quit. You stumbled, but you rose again. You wept, but you still prayed. You doubted, but you still believed. And that faithfulness has now qualified you to be crowned. It is written in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 4. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. Chosen one. This crown is not only a reward, it is a mantle of identity. You are no longer hidden, no longer wandering, no longer questioning who you are. You are crowned as a son, a daughter, a ruler in the kingdom of light. The crown signifies that you are not merely surviving in this world, you are reigning with Christ. And with this coronation comes a new way of walking, of seeing, of living. Do you understand the weight of this moment? Heaven is not simply handing you recognition, it is handing you responsibility. The crown is not an ornament, it is an assignment. It reminds you that you are chosen to carry light where there is darkness, to speak life where there is death, to plant hope where despair has reigned. You are not crowned to sit in silence, you are crowned to shine. Think of the battles behind you. The storms that threatened to drown you are now beneath your feet. The voices that mocked you are now silenced by your testimony. The chains that once bound you are now shattered at your feet. Every struggle has now become part of your crown. Each jewel represents a trial you overcame. Each gleam represents a victory you won. Each facet reflects the glory of God revealed through you. Chosen one. Do not diminish this moment. Do not shrink back in false humility. Lift your head and wear the crown boldly, not for your glory, but for the glory of the one who carried you. The crown does not say, "Look at me." It says, "Look at him who chose me, sustained me, and crowned me." This coronation also signals the beginning of a new chapter. You are stepping into destiny with authority. No longer are you waiting for validation. You are walking in confirmation. No longer are you asking for permission. You are carrying commission. The crown is proof that heaven has entrusted you with influence, and now you must walk in it. Chosen one. The world around you is desperate for light. People are searching, stumbling, aching for something real. Your crown is not for display, it is for their deliverance. When they see you walk with peace in chaos, hope in despair, strength in weakness, they will know there is a greater power within you, and that power will draw them to the source. This is your coronation moment. Breathe it in. Feel the weight of the crown. Let it settle upon you. You are no longer the same. You are chosen, crowned, unstoppable. And as you move forward, remember, the crown is not fragile. It will not fade. It will not tarnish. It will not be stolen. It is eternal, sealed by the promise of God, secured by the blood of Christ, sustained by the Spirit within you. Chosen one, lift your head, walk boldly. The crown rests upon you. Your destiny has arrived. Chosen one, as this message draws to its close, know this: your journey is not ending here. It is only the beginning of a greater unfolding. You have walked through valleys, stood against storms, carried chains that broke in your very hands, and now you stand crowned with glory. Heaven itself has testified over you. You are chosen. You are marked. You are unstoppable. But remember, the crown is not just for your own comfort. It is a commission. You are called to be a torchbearer in a world desperate for light. Every word you release, every act of kindness, every step of faith becomes part of the legacy you leave behind. Others are watching, waiting for proof that endurance is worth it, and your life is the proof. Do not shrink back. Do not bury what heaven has given you. Rise and walk boldly in the identity you now wear. The seal is upon you. The authority is within you. The crown rests upon your head, and nothing can remove it. And chosen one, if this message has stirred something deep within you, let it not remain silent. Like and share this word, because you never know who is on the edge of quitting and desperately needs to hear that they, too, are chosen. Subscribe if you have not already, because heaven's voice will continue to flow, and you are meant to stay connected. And if your spirit feels the nudge, consider sowing into this mission. Every gift helps carry this message further, touching hearts across nations, igniting hope in those who might otherwise give up. Chosen one, you are the evidence. You are the light. You are the crowned one. Step forward. Now the world is waiting for you.